Alright, what's going on, people? It's OGCP De Silva, and yesterday I had an idea, an epiphany, if you will, for a new series to my channel. I'm actually pretty excited, not super excited, but pretty excited to bring this to you guys, so let's all get excited together. So the new series is going to be called So One Day at School. This was actually inspired by the very popular high school stories, which is seen all across YouTube nowadays. But I didn't want to just limit it to high school alone. So I'm going to be talking about anything from elementary school to middle school to high school to even college. So anything that I find interesting or I have found interesting from all of my experiences throughout that time, I am going to share with you in this new series. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So one day at school, this was in high school, taking place in my algebra class, we had a teacher named Mr. Phillips. Now, Mr. Phillips was a funny teacher. He was quite goofy, he got along well with the students, and he was well liked. But like I said, focus is on the goofiness because at times he would do some pretty silly stuff. So during this time, we were in STAR testing. Now, STAR testing, what that is in California, is where we are tested on our math, our English, our science, etc. You get the point. And we are compared to other high schools in our state. And I don't know if any of the other states do this type of thing or you guys do that in other countries as well if you're not from here. But this is what happens in California. But that's besides the point. Now, Mr. Phillips, during STAR testing, was handing out snacks. Yes, we get snacks handed out to us as we go through this testing because it does take place for a couple of hours. So it was during that time when he was passing these snacks out that instead of going around and handing them to us like a normal person would do, he thought for whatever reason he would go back to his desk and start throwing them at us and we were going to be able to catch him. And that's exactly what he did. And this went on until it got to the couple of last students that were left to be handed out to. The snacks, of course, are thrown to at this point. And a couple of the students, there were a couple of rowdy students, not me, but there were a couple of students in there that were pretty rowdy, and they started throwing these snacks back at him. And the playful or goofy type that Mr. Phillips is, he started throwing them right back at him. And this became sort of an ordeal that went back and forth, but it was quite hilarious. So a couple of the other students were just kind of sitting back and thinking, what the heck is going on? But we were slightly amused by it. So, you know, we just saw it go back and forth, and eventually Mr. Phillips was trying to hit them in the face with it, hit them in the chest, and the students were trying to do the exact same thing. And again, like I said before, very odd but very amusing. And one of the snacks actually went astray and hit a girl in the face, and everybody, the room just got quiet. Everybody stared down at the girl, everybody stared back at Mr. Phillips, and so on. And what the girl did, and this is, by the way, not your girly girl type of girl. She's a ghetto gangster type of girl, if you will. Very hard or whatever. And what she did actually is really slowly turn her head, look towards Mr. Phillips, and stare him down. And we thought, oh my God, some drama is about to happen right now. But what actually ended up happening is after her stare down for what seemed like a minute, she stormed out of the classroom, and we all thought to ourselves, wow, did the teacher actually just hit a student with that snack going across the room? But, you know, it was just very odd, very funny to say the least, and all that the teacher, all that Mr. Phillips had to say was, oh well. Oh well, that's it. Oh my goodness, everybody started cracking up in the class after she stormed out, and she didn't come back for the rest of the period. So that was something that we all thought was pretty funny. And since this is the premiere, if you will, of my new series, I'll give you a bonus story. Now, this took place in the exact same week, in the same classroom, and Mr. Phillips, for whatever reason, I don't know if somebody asked him or what, had a golf club lying around in his class. And he was an assistant coach of the golf team, and he wanted to properly show everyone the proper way to swing a golf club, right? So he got up on top of his desk and demonstrated it to us in slow motion. Then after that, everybody was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. We didn't know that before and that stuff, just to make him stop. But he did not stop right there. He was like, all right, so this should be the final product. This is how it should look when you're actually swinging it the right way. And now Mr. Phillips wanted to swing it in fast motion, the way it was supposed to be done. And that's exactly what he did. But this time, when he swung, he actually lost the handle, lost the grip of the club itself, and it landed its way up through the roof and just found its way hanging there. Now, we didn't know what to think at that point in time. Everybody was just dead silent. I mean, obviously everybody would be, and then we were just kind of shocked. I mean, is this thing really happening? Thank God it didn't go and hit somebody in the face, because that would be a whole nother issue. But it did create a hole in the roof, and all that Mr. Phillips had to say, that's gonna cost a little. That's gonna cost a little. Honestly, you could have done a lot of harm to someone if that went over really, really badly and just hit somebody in the head or in the face. But it did create some damage for the classroom, and I don't know what happened after that, after we left from that classroom, but the next day it was perfectly fine, and I don't know how it got fixed or anything. But the next day everybody was just talking amongst each other in terms of students, but no one asked the teacher, nobody asked Mr. Phillips what actually ended up happening. So that was very odd, and we thought it was an interesting thing that happened in our high school career, and hopefully you guys thought it was entertaining, and hopefully you guys find that this series will be a great addition to my channel. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. This is OGCP Da Silva, and I am signing off.